There is a very traditional Mexican genre of music which you have probably heard before. Have you ever been to Old Town or maybe even Tijuana? If you have, then you've probably heard the genre before. If you haven't guessed it yet, today I will be talking about mariachi, more specifically mariachi history. Why is it important to know a little bit of mariachi history? Maybe you have Latin roots, or maybe you live in a city which is heavily influenced by Mexican culture, or maybe you play the genre like I do. I've been playing for about 3 to 4 years, and I've been taught by some composers who have been composing for Grammy nominated groups. The beginning of mariachi starts in 1519 when Hernan Cortes lands in the coast of Veracruz in the east of Mexico. That's the first place where indigenous and Spanish cultures came together. Then, in 1520, one of the Spanish soldiers began to teach viola to some indigenous. And in 1525, according to José Cajón, a Franciscan priest, Juan Caro, started the first official European music school in Mexico in 1525 to spread Catholicism through music. As Europeans began to teach indigenous European instruments, they began to add their own twist to it. And Spanish also came with Africans from the west of Africa. That is why sometimes you could say that some African beats sound similar to a subgenre of music, of mariachi music, called a son. So far, I've talked about the beginnings of mariachi, where in the 1500s, African, European, and indigenous cultures came together to start this genre of music. The golden age of mariachi is what I'll be talking about next. The golden age, many say, is when mariachi popularity hit its peak. That is when groups were seen on TV and movies, and they toured around the world. To start things off, I'd say that once mariachi became a genre in Mexico, it began to independently grow in the state of Jalisco. But we can say that mariachi didn't start its golden age until it left the state of Jalisco. The group Mariachi Coculense de Cirillo Marmolejo was the first group to leave and establish itself in Mexico City in 1920. Once in Mexico City, TV producers and actors began to request that mariachi would play in their TV shows, in their films, and that's the first place where mariachis began to wear what I'm wearing, the traditional mariachi traje, the big hats and the flashy suits. The golden age of mariachi was from 1930 and then began to fade in 1960s. But that does not mean that mariachi is gone. Mariachi is not just big in Mexico, but mariachi has been growing in different countries, all over the world, we could say. And we have groups established in Ukraine, Spain, Japan, and now more than ever in the US. One of the most important figures in mariachi, Ruben Fuentes, stated that the future of mariachi was in the US. Now, more than ever in history, mariachi has been growing in the US more than in Mexico. That is because there are so many Mexican immigrants coming to the US, and that is also because the US has been pioneering a mariachi education program in public schools. And it's also because the US has a more stable economy, which allows groups to tour and record more music and increase its popularity in the US. The traditional genre from Mexico is very unique. And so now, when you're in Old Town or in Tijuana, you hear the distinct sound of mariachi. You can say you know a little bit about its history.